Section 5 of A Plain English Handbook, How to Create Clear SEC Disclosure Documents by the Office of Investor Education and Assistance, U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. This Librivox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Marianne. Chapter 8. Time-Saving Tips. Following are some tips that have saved time for those who routinely rewrite documents in plain English. Photocopy the document single-sided on 11 by 17 paper, ledger paper, to 120% of its original size. This gives you room to make notes in the margins and helps to save your eyesight. Keep your original document handy, you'll use it again later. Read through the ledger-sized copy and take notes. In the margin of each paragraph, jot down the main and supporting points. We suggest using a pencil unless you're one of those people who does crossword puzzles in ink. If you can't find these points too easily, it may mean the paragraph is a hodgepodge of unrelated topics. This stage of the process can be space-consuming. In your workspace or in a conference room, tape or tack the pages of your document to the wall. If it's too long, you may want to spread out just your outline and summary. Then, thinking of your investors, physically move the pages into the order that makes the most sense. If only parts of pages need to be moved, cut them out and move just the parts. Remember to group like information together. When you start to reorder your document by moving pages or parts of pages, write on the page or section where it appeared in the original document, the page number and paragraph if applicable, and a number or letter to indicate its place in the new draft. It's a good idea to keep the notes and questions you wrote in the margins distinct from your cross-reference marks by writing them in a different color. Use colored pencils, since it's likely you'll move sections around more than once. Once you have finished physically reorganizing the document, you may want to outline the new organization. On a separate piece of paper, write the names for the new sections you created. Under each section name, write down its major elements. This is the outline of your plain English draft, and, with some revisions, will become your table of contents. Keep in mind that the most effective outlines are more like sketches, just detailed enough to set priorities and create logical relationships. Next to each entry in your outline, be sure to note where this information appeared in the original document. This is very important. Cross-referencing accurately now may save you hours of backtracking later. Tape your recorded sections on blank pieces of ledger-size paper and photocopy them. This will be the master document from which you'll rewrite. As you rewrite, each time you complete a sentence or paragraph, draw a line through it in pencil. This way you'll be sure to account for all the original content in your rewrite. Chapter 9. Using Readability Formulas and Style Checkers. Readability formulas determine how difficult a piece of writing is to read. However, you should be aware of a major flaw in every readability formula. No formula takes into account the content of the document being evaluated. In other words, no formula can tell you if you have conveyed the information clearly. For the most part, they count the number of syllables and words in a sentence and the number of sentences in the sample. Of course, if you applied a readability formula to a traditional disclosure document, it would fail miserably. But keep in mind that by some formula's calculations, Einstein's theory of relativity reads at a fifth-grade level. Some computerized style checkers analyze your grammar and identify the passive voice. They may suggest ways to make your writing more readable. Take their suggestions as just that, suggestions. The final test of whether any piece of writing meets its goal of communicating information comes when humans read it. Chapter 10. Evaluating the document. You can evaluate your document by testing it with a focus group. Experts call this audience-centered testing because it focuses on the interaction between a particular document and a representative sample of its readers. While the results are reliable, focus groups require time and money. Focus group testing tends to work better with shorter documents or portions of longer ones. You can also test the portions of your document that you plan to use repeatedly. At the very least, you'll have helpful feedback on the sections that investors are most likely to read and on the language that appears most frequently in your disclosure documents. Based on the test results, you can isolate the parts that cause the most confusion and fix them. If you don't have the budget to test your document formally through focus groups, improvise. Ask individuals in your office who most closely resemble your investors to read your draft document and listen closely to their reactions. Ask others who have some distance from the project to read it. A pair of fresh eyes often picks up the obvious problems that those who have worked with the document miss. Chapter 11. Reading List. If you want more information on how to write in plain English, we've listed just a few of the many resources available, including those from the SEC. You may want to visit your local library to review these books or a broader selection. Goldstein and Lieberman's book, The Lawyer's Guide to Writing Well, includes a comprehensive list of books about legal writing. We are not endorsing any of these books, but have included them as a resource for your convenience. Claire Carwall Cook, Line by Line, Houghton Mifflin, 1985. Alan J. Davis, Graphs and Doublespeak, Quarterly Review of Doublespeak, Volume 18, No. 4, July 1992. Brian A. Garner, The Elements of Legal Style, Oxford University Press, 1991. Brian A. Garner, A Dictionary of Modern Legal Usage, Oxford University Press, 2nd edition, 1995. Tom Goldstein and Jethro K. Lieberman, The Lawyer's Guide to Writing Well, University of California Press, 1989. Karen Elizabeth Gordon, The Transitive Vampire, A Handbook of Grammar for the Innocent, the Eager, and the Doomed, Times Books, 1984. Karen Elizabeth Gordon, The New Well-Tempered Sentence, A Punctuation Handbook for the Innocent, the Eager, and the Doomed, Ticknor and Fields, 1993. William Lutz, The New Doublespeak, Why No One Knows What Anyone's Saying Anymore, HarperCollins, 1996. David Melenkoff, Legal Writing, Sense and Nonsense, West Publishing Company, 1982. William Strunk Jr. and E.B. White, Elements of Style, Macmillan, 3rd Revised Edition, 1981. Edward R. Tuft, The Visual Display of Quantitative Information, Graphics Press, 1983. Robin Williams, The Mac is Not a Typewriter, Peach Pit Press, 1990. Richard C. Wydick, Plain English for Lawyers, Carolina Academic Press, 2nd edition, 1985. William Zinsser, On Writing Well, Harper & Row, 4th edition, 1988. SEC Publications. Before and After Plain English Examples and Sample Analyses, SEC Division of Corporate Finance, April 4, 1998. Plain English Pilot Program, Selected Plain English Samples, SEC Division of Corporate Finance, January 28, 1998. Securities Act Release No. 33-7380, Plain English Discourse, Proposing Release, January 14, 1997, 62 Federal Register 3512, January 21, 1997. Securities Act Release No. 33-7497, Plain English Disclosure, Adopting Release, January 28, 1998, 63 Federal Register 6370, February 6, 1998. Chapter 12. Keeping in touch with us. We hope that this handbook will prove useful to you in drafting and creating plain English documents. Although we have drawn the suggestions in the handbook from those who have written plain English documents and from experts in the field, we realize that much more will be learned along the way that can benefit all of us. We would appreciate receiving your suggestions on how we can improve this handbook. We would also like to collect as many examples of befores and their plain English afters as possible, as well as any tips that have helped you save time and energy. Please forward your suggestions and before and after examples to Nancy M. Smith, Director, Office of Investor Education and Assistance, SEC, 450 5th Street, Northwest, Washington, D.C., 20549. End of Chapter 12 and end of A Plain English Handbook, How to Create Clear SEC Disclosure Documents, by the Office of Investor Education and Assistance, U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission.